No wallet to hold your cash and cards? No belt to hold up your pants? No problem. Enter the $5,000 Rose Anvil giveaway by signing up for the email list for a chance to win a wallet, camera harness, belt, kilties, and more. Ends April 3rd. 55 winners, 55 prizes, 55 products, and 55 tries.
Hey guys, it's me, ethnically ambiguous Weston. Crocs is known for their foam-based shoes that have been adopted by people from all walks of life. Nurses, hype beasts, old people, Adam Sandler, Justin Bieber, John Cena, Nicki Minaj, the Prince of Wales, Jay, your uncle in his underwear going to the mailbox. However, in recent times, Crocs has been known for their collaborations and recent spike in the high fashion world with brands like Balenciaga, Palace, and designers like Salehi Bembury. 2023, the Cowboy Crocs released, which shows that Crocs is trying to break into that tougher boot market. But now, Crocs looks like it's trying to compete with the heavyweights with this new boot. So what is this boot? The brand is Crocs. Style, crush boot. Weight, 1 pound, 3.3 ounces, which is about 2 pounds lighter than any other work boot. The price is $79.99. Hold on. Hey! Get back to work! Hand stitch wallets do not hand stitch themselves. American labor, am I right? Made in Vietnam. This IT boot is functional for rain, but versatile for any occasion with year-round appeal for those looking for bold, unique, iconic style. Part of the new Crush collection, this dynamic boot features modern style, added height, and tread-right, easy-to-wear shaft height. Plus, gibbets, holes in the shaft collar make it easy to personalize. The Crocs comfort you love in a waterproof boot with an extra dose of height, attitude, sass, and style. They're definitely positioning it as an all-in-one boot, but I don't know how it'll hold up against my beloved P&W work boots. Buy these boots for my links. Buy this boot at the link in description.
Then we get to the upper. Most work boots use a leather upper, which comes in around 2.5 to 3.5 millimeters thick on the best of the best work boots. This boot uses Crocs F.O.A.M, not the F.O.A.M that we've seen in the past that stood for Forced Oxygenated Material Extrusion. This Croc uses F.O.A.M, Forced Oxygenated Assembly Method material, which is supposedly formulated for this work environment. Then you get to the macro of the grain. Usually leather is a thick, fibrous grain structure that keeps it all together, with the tighter grains being on top and the loose suede grains being on the bottom. No grain on this Croc though, just solid wall of material protecting your feet. I've never seen this on a work boot before, and my sponsor told me that it's bulletproof. So we took the whole cavalry to it, and boy, I was not expecting it to survive. Then we took the lighter to it, and it started out as this like modern day Barney kind of color, and then it got to that darker retro Barney kind of color. And then it got really white and melted, so take that for what you will.
This video is sponsored by Clomps. Where would you wear your wood? We all know and love Clomps here in the shop, and they have had some really big releases, like the OG Clomps here, the all-terrain Clomps, super cool with nails in it, and the high top with an air unit Clomps. Now, they're back at it again with the premium barefoot Clomps. These bad boys feature an extra wide toe box, so you don't have to squish your feet into those overly tight work boots anymore or work Clomps. They are a zero drop, which will improve your foot health over time, but they will give you enough comfort to get by. You'll notice too that these Clomps are lined with a premium quality shearling wool, which we know regulates temperature and is antimicrobial, flame resistant, static resistant, and doesn't feel wet until it's 60% soaked through. An incredible, incredible Clomp. But that's not all. The classic leather strap is also lined with shearling, so you get a foot sandwich of super plush wool layers. Wool here, 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 wool here. Honestly, everyone in the shop wears these religiously. Make sure to use the link below to check them out. You can't go wrong with a pair of Clomps. Clomps, where would you wear your wood?
Speaking of the leather, we're gonna move on to the thickness now. So most work leathers are 2 to 2.5 millimeters thick, with the best I've seen as a firefighter being in the 3 to 3.5 millimeter thickness range, like most P&W boots. Now, the Croc on the other hand comes in at a solid 5.2 millimeters thick, which is way thicker than all the tough P&W brands, making them all look like baby P&W brands. because this is definitely the thickest upper I've ever seen. And I can say as a firefighter that this will protect your feet no matter the circumstances. Going to the outsole puncture real quick, it took 43 pounds of pressure, which is of course equivalent, as we all know, to 172 quarter pounders, add cheese, add mac sauce, which is a lot. Moving on to something that it's missing, there's one glaring omission that I cannot believe they didn't include. A 4-wheel drive strap. Come on, Crocs, what are you? I know it's a taller boot, so it can hold your ankles, not mine, because they're really tiny, but more security is always better in my opinion. Give me the option, and you can trust me. I was a firefighter. And they even had it with the cowboy croc. And it's not functional here, so you'd think they would include it in the new one. Overall, just a bad look for Crocs, showing they're cutting corners wherever they can.
All right, so on to the waterproof test. So this boot, just like a lot of other work boots, it's gonna be waterproof, but just up until these holes near the top. Now, we kind of thought that it has 3 great main functions here. First, we get a lot of great ventilation through the top. I think you don't want to get that trench foot, you lose any toes, so it's a great solution for some ventilation up at the top. Next, it's an easy solution for grating some cheese. Think like lunchtime pasta at the work site, almost like a Swiss Army knife for grating cheese. Also, these boots are so light that if you were working near like a large body of water and you fell in, it's almost gonna be like personal flotation, just keep you up by the ankles. Okay, now moving on to the liner. Now something that I, Weston K, gripe with all the time is that a lot of waterproof boots have this terrible textile liner that just wears out. Now with this Croc, you don't have that problem at all. It's a completely unlined boot and it's totally waterproof, so I'm loving it. The liner has this hexagonal kind of grip pattern. Now, a lot of people don't know, but hexagons are actually the grippiest shape in nature. I personally prefer circles, but this hexagonal grip pattern on the liner really keeps your foot in place. So let me know in the comments what you guys think, what kind of shape you think keeps your foot in place the best.
So moving into the insoles and inserts, the question is it removable or not? Let's see. It's not. So the non-removable insole builds up a lot of good arch support while it's still being quiet, squishy, which is really, really nice. And as I learned from the original Croc videos, these bumps right here are the return policy in Braille. But in this boot, it's different. It spells out how to contact OSHA. Why, you may ask? It's because it's a work boot, and just in case of any workplace incidents, it's super handy to have on the work site, because you guys know I'm a leather worker. I love working on leather, and working on leather requires to have machines. And with machines comes with the risk of getting hurt. But I really do appreciate Croc, because I think Croc's the only brand that is doing this. So what a cool move.
Okay, and if we move on to the next section, which is the midsole, you'll notice that there is a ton of foam. And when I say foam, I mean F-O-A-M and not F-O-M-E. It gives you about an extra 2 inches. And we all know we could use an extra 2 inches, whether here or somewhere else. The diameter of this boot comes in at about a 50 Shore, which is just enough to keep its shape, be hard enough to keep its shape, but also be soft enough to be very, very, very comfortable. I like 50 Shore foam in particular. It's the perfect consistency of foam that feels the best when I chew on my boots. And I, Weston K, chew on my boots. I like to see the rebound. I like to see exactly how that foam acts under teeth and on the tip of the tongue before I wear a boot. Just to see what it tastes like. Tip of the tongue, tip of the teeth, tip of the foam, foam of the face, foam of the teeth, foam of the mouth, foam of the face, foam of the mouth. Yeah, see, it feels really good on the teeth. I really quite like that. That's very nice. It's just a good, solid work boot sneaker combo that the world needs to know about, because foam is an important thing. Forced oxygenated assembly method, forced oxygenated foam. Foam.
Now, if we look at the rest of the boot, the tread pattern is a good tread pattern, which I didn't know this, but good stands for great on outside dirt. And that comes straight from the manufacturer. It's like a F.O.A.M 430 mini lug, which I love because we used it in the Drifters Whites collab, and country boy like me loves a good mini lug. One benefit of the outsole is that if you step on a nail, it's just not getting through there. It's not reaching your foot because this outsole is just so thick. All right, let's get into the construction. It's a forced oxygenated assembly method, just like the upper. So it directly attaches the upper to the outsole, and there's no waste, like extra pieces of leather that you have to, you have to scrap it when the pattern gets out. It's resolable, so when you wear this down, you can just go to the store and glue some more foam onto the bottom. Yeah, these might be some of the highest quality boots ever made. So that's everything from the outside. So far it's looking really good, but we've seen it over and over again that with these big corporations, they hide and cut corners and where you just can't see. So let's chop this thing up and see what's on the inside.
All right, so we got it cut in half, and make sure to hit, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a like, leave a dislike, whatever you want to do. So let's see what's inside. All right, so I was definitely not expecting this thickness, this just like extra 2 inches that everybody needs. So one thing that I didn't know, you can't see it from the outside. I mean, there's nothing here, but when you pull it open, just when you think this shoe is like done giving you all these surprises, you can actually pull out little tiny earplugs from the inside of this. So you're on the job, it's getting loud, someone's going at it with like a bandsaw cutting shoes in half or something. You just gotta pull it out, plug those ears, good to go. It's just like the gift that keeps on giving. You can see like, it's got the foam insole, you got the foam midsole, you got the foam lasting board, you got the foam filling, you got the foam gemming up here, you got the foam toe stiffener right there, it's gonna keep a nice shape. You got the foam counter, which is like, it's a pretty thick counter, honestly. It's gonna be right up on par with those P&W boots, like any good work boot. It's gonna really keep your heel locked in there. And what's really surprising is something you can't see from the outside. We've seen it faked tons and tons of times. It's actually a dual density midsole construction. Like in the Lululemon we saw was faked. Usually they just want you to think that it's better than it is, but this one's actually dual density. The top layer is coming in at about 25 shore A and the bottom's about 40, so it's definitely softer and harder. I mean, this boot would have been awesome for me, like when I was a wildland firefighter. Just having this much material between me and the fire would just keep me up out of it. Probably wouldn't get burned. I'd be definitely like, fire doesn't get taller people. So with the extra 2.5 inches or so, the fire's not gonna get me. So this would have been awesome to have when I was doing that job.
For under $100, you really can't find a work boot with this many features and benefits just jam-packed into it. Will it perform as well as other more dedicated work boots? Absolutely. The material's thicker, there's more midsole, more work-related add-ons that don't weigh you down, waterproofing with no lining, just free. You can just free foot it. I'm actually blown away by this boot. I never thought Crocs could make such a good work boot. And if you're like me and you have these tiny little chicken legs, growing up on a farm, you really need some support when you're trudging through the mud and the dirt, horseback riding. Working on my business now as a small business owner and an entrepreneur, it's really important for me to have full support whether I'm at the farm or I'm here in my office. Make sure to subscribe. It's the only way we can pay to cut apart 2 new shoes a week, and now 1 additional sneaker with Colin added into the mix. Colin's a good guy, gotta watch his videos. Let me know what other work boots you want to see in the comments and grab some Clomps today. If you're like me and you like the best of the best, Clomps work boots are for you.
Thank you guys for all your support.
As always,
The link's in the description.
See ya.
So, see ya.
So, see ya.
So, see ya.